So what's crazy is that this is a homeowner that submitted to book an appointment next week for my HVAC clients. Nobody answered the phone. Nobody sent them an email. They were automatically booked for an appointment, and I get paid $250 every time someone does this. And I'm a software engineer who's been in the industry for 5+ years. And so instead of building a SaaS application that nobody was frankly going to use probably, I actually decided to build a automation/marketing agency, lead generation agency for HVAC contractors. And in this video, I want to do a full breakdown of what I have going on, the offer, how I'm getting them, like my profitability and what that looks like, and what I'm looking to do for the years to come, and honestly, how you can implement this for yourself as well. And by the end of this, you'll see the exact system that I'm running and what I'm trying to do, how I'm making money, maybe some mistakes that I've made, and honestly, why I think that like boring businesses or service industries that people don't really think of, why there are there's a ton of potential in there for you to make some money. And I'm not speaking hypothetically. These are all things that I'm currently doing like right now, today, in order to run my business. So first off, I want to start with why HVAC of all things and why I decided to move in with that industry. All right, so let's talk about why this and not a SaaS. With the first part being, so I actually grew up in a family full of HVAC guys. My dad was an HVAC, my uncle was an HVAC, my grandfather owned an HVAC company. So the biggest thing for me was that I was very familiar with the HVAC space. So I understood kind of like how to speak the language, what they were referring to. And it gave me a slight advantage because I was able to relate to them and understand like what they were going through on a little bit more of a personal level. So they didn't feel like they were just speaking with just another dude that was trying to offer them some lead services or marketing. Like they felt like they were like, okay, like this guy gets it a little bit, especially because like my military background. So I had a slight advantage going into it because a lot of like blue collar workers, they relate a lot more like with military guys. So I had the ability to lean into my military experience, my experience in construction when I was in the military, my family being in construction or being in the HVAC industry. So it gave me a slight edge when it came to like being able to talk to these guys, especially and relate to them. Now, and the other thing was that I didn't want to get into the SaaS side of things because I knew, especially after doing a little bit of research into it, I knew that the chances of me just being able to build a SaaS product like right out the rip and just start selling this thing is just not doable. So my thought was, if I'm able to kind of get inside of these companies, offer them a service, like my lead generation, my appointment setting offer, the automation piece is like my foot in the door. And then once I really understand like what these guys face and like what problems they face, that could open up the potential for me to build a product or an app or something that they can use instead of just trying to go right off the rip. Now, let's go into the offer mechanics a little bit and how I'm actually structuring the offer for these guys. So what this basically looks like is that I'm offering them to pay $250 per scheduled appointment on their calendar, right? So I am not charging them if the appointments don't show. I'm not charging them if someone no-shows or cancels. They're charged per appointment. So this is relatively different than what they're used to on a like a flat retainer basis. So a lot of traditional like marketing agencies, they have them pay retainers. But with something like this, it was relatively effective because now for me, I'm incentivized to have them go and actually show up to the appointments. I'm not incentivized in a way where I don't care if they get appointments or not. I'm actually I'm very involved with them getting these appointments, and this is very attractive for them. And basically the way that I'm structuring it is that with a lot of automation and you being able to utilize, because I use GoHighLevel within GoHighLevel, there's a lot of within this offer that you can automate and kind of structure in a way where it's not really taking a lot of your time to do this, which is why it's really attractive, not only for me, because not like for me in a sense of like it's going to take me a lot of time, but it's very much for them because a lot of this is automated and very consistent. And it's a great way for them to, because one of the issues that they face is that they might have leads, they might have people coming in, but time and time again, I think I'm really starting to see that it's not so much the leads, it's about the fact that they just don't have the time to follow up with them or nurture the leads. They're very much used to people just coming, calling, they're buying HVAC units, they're buying a service. they're not so much used to the follow-up and the sales piece of this, which is where this really comes into play, because now the service that I'm offering is now taking a lot of that off the table for them. So now they can focus on just doing the installs. So this offer is the fact that they can pay per scheduled appointment is very attractive for them. And I guarantee that I can get them 20 appointments in 2 months. And the chances of them not being able to close on a few units from 20 appointments is highly unlikely. And the really cool part is that structuring your guarantee in a way that makes them stay for a couple months gets you past that 30-day hump. So it's actually a very smart way where you can actually convert people to stay for longer, get past that hump, get them a few installs under your belt, and then they're basically sold that the system does work. Once they see, that they're spending a couple $1,000 on ads, but then they're closing and making, $20, $30, $40,000 on install deals. So to basically sum it up, I'm guaranteeing these guys 20 appointments in 60 days, or they get their full money back. Because with this, they're paying an upfront fee of $3,000 to set up and for me to build out, because I'm building the landing page, I'm building the funnel, I'm building out and managing within the CRM, I'm getting them set up in the CRM. So there's a lot of work that I'm doing upfront to get them set up within this. So not only am I just managing the ads for them that I'm also creating, because I make the creatives for them, but now I'm also taking all the cold leads that they're getting from Facebook, I'm putting them through a funnel, I'm pre-qualifying them, I'm making sure that they're actual homeowners who are trying to come through this in the landing page, and then I build out like the funnel statistics, and I'm seeing where people are dropping off, and then I'm also handling the follow-up and the automated text messages and getting the appointments booked. So they're paying that up front. And if I don't get them the 20 appointments, I refund them all of that. So it's very attractive for them. So that's basically it. They pay $3,000 up front, they handle the ad spend, and then they only have to pay me per scheduled appointment that shows up. So it's kind of like a rev share. You can think of it like that. So like I was saying within the offer, basically what I do is I handle the ads, and then I'm also building out their landing page. I have the automations set up in place, the GoHighLevel automations, so that we're texting each lead that comes in, and they are texted within seconds. So this entire structure for them is really a really effective system that once you kind of know what you're doing and you know how to run ads that get people interested, it's literally just a matter of getting people, getting some water into the pipe, right? So just getting people through the funnel, because once you know your numbers, it's relatively the same across the board. You just need to know how to run effective ads that get people to click on it, and then you just know that your funnel is going to do the rest. When it's just going to filter out everybody, and then you're only going to have pre-qualified, people that these guys are really interested in working with, who are pre-qualified, financially qualified, that they can close on. So let me go through some real numbers from where I'm at currently, like right now as of today. Right now I've spent a little bit around $4,000 to $5,000 in ad spend for me to get my leads. I'm also doing SMS automations to where I'm texting all the HVAC owners. And so I have a few appointments next week actually booked for me starting to do SMS automation. And now so far I have two clients that I have actually gotten right now that have closed from Facebook ads. And that's going to turn into $6,000 cash collected from my two clients that I've gotten from Facebook. And I have another one that might be closing next week. So for him, I'm actually charging him $1,500 up front. So that's going to be around $7,500 cash collected on the front end. And that's not including money on the back end, right? Because keep in mind that every client that I bring on, it's $250 per scheduled appointment. All right, so I'm going to be able to start getting into the back end part of this and seeing what I'm actually going to be making on the back end. But I'm probably going to be estimating and averaging, depending on the client and their ad budget, right? For one client, I'll probably be making anywhere around like $2,000 a month on average. And then my other client actually has a way bigger budget. They're doing it's a multi-million-dollar company. So I could probably expect from them actually maybe being closer to the $4,000 or $5,000 range, depending on how their budget goes, on a monthly reoccurring basis, right? And that's just simply just water, again, coming through the pipe, knowing the numbers, and seeing how many people are going to be scheduling through the pipeline. So up front, I'm not super profitable on just ROAS on the upfront cash collected. When you really start getting profitable is that if I can actually get it to where I'm semi-profitable on the front end with the upfront cash collected, when I combine that with the back end piece where they're paying me on a weekly basis for the scheduled appointments, and as I get more customers, the profitability is going to go through the roof. Especially if I'm able to be over, be around like 1.5 to 2 ROAS, 2x return, or 1.5x or 2x return on my ROAS from my upfront cash collected. It's just going to be, the cherry on top, because then not only am I paying for my customers and then semi-paying for other customers, with the back end piece, it's going to be insanely profitable once I get some clients and all the back end funds start rolling through. So where am I going to be taking this from here? The goal is I want to hit my first $10,000 month, right? Where I am going to be making $10,000 cash collected in a month. Now I knew upfront that getting to $10,000 just in upfront cash collected was going to be relatively challenging. But now that I have 3 clients, who are going to be paying me on the back end, if I just simply am able to get a couple clients in a month who pay me up front, the back end is easily going to take me across the finish line. So I think that my first $10,000 month is probably going to be next month, is what I'm guesstimating. I won't necessarily hit it this month, I don't think, but time will tell on that one. So if this is something that you guys are interested in, following along with and just kind of seeing how I'm doing things, feel free to make sure you guys subscribe, like the video, comment down below if you guys have any questions on how I'm kind of running this system. I'm an open book. I'm more than willing, to kind of explain things, because I'm really interested in trying to help other software engineers who are trying to make some extra cash. If they want a side business, they're really not sure what to do, but they kind of know the traditional just starting a random SaaS isn't going to pay you. This is certainly an option that you guys can absolutely do in order for you guys to make some extra cash. So make sure you guys subscribe. I'm going to be making more videos, kind of discussing the tactics that I'm doing and the strategies that I'm implementing. And please make sure you guys comment down below, give me some engagement, because that always, of course, helps me. But let me know if you guys have any questions. See you next time.